All right, guys, today we're going to go over the elements of art, the ingredients for a great composition. What are the elements of art? The elements of art are the tools that artists use to make art. There are 7 of them: line, value, texture, shape, form, space, and color. Line is a path that a point takes through space. Lines can be thick, thin, dotted, or solid. They can make straight movements, zigzags, waves, or curls. They may be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Horizontal lines are generally restful, like the horizon, where the sky meets the land. Vertical lines seem to be reaching, so they may seem inspirational, like tall, majestic trees or church steeples. Diagonal lines tend to be disturbing. They suggest decay or chaos, like lightning or fallen trees. Lines can convey emotion as well. They may show excitement, anger, calmness, tension, happiness, and many other feelings. Because of this, some are said to be expressive. Expressive lines tend to be found in nature and are very organic. Other lines that are very measured, geometric, diagonal, and angular, are called constructive lines. They tend to appear to be man-made because of their precision. Shape. Shape is created when a line becomes connected and encloses space. It is the outline or outward appearance of something. Shapes are two-dimensional or 2D, which means they have 2 ways they can be measured. You can measure its height and its width. There are 3 basic types of shape. 3 types of shape. Geometric shapes have smooth, even edges that are measurable. They include the square, the circle, the triangle, and the rectangle. Organic shapes have more complicated edges and are usually found in nature, leaves, flowers, etc. Freeform shapes also have more complicated edges and can be found in nature or man-made objects. They are irregular and informal shapes. Form. A form is a shape that has become 3-dimensional or 3D. Form has height, width, and depth, which is the 3rd dimension. Depth shows the thickness of the object. Forms are not flat like shapes are. Turning shapes into forms. A triangle becomes a cone or a pyramid. A square becomes a cube. A rectangle can become a box or a cylinder. And in order to turn a circle into a sphere, you have to use shading. You can't add another side to it. Shading is value. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color. Value makes objects appear more real because it imitates natural light. When showing value in a work of art, you will need a light source. A light source is a place where the light is coming from. The darkest areas are always on the opposite side of the light. They're the shadows. Value. In order to have a successful drawing, you will need to show value in a full range, which means that there are very light areas, middle tones, and very dark areas. This is a way of giving a work of art great contrast. In drawing, value can be added in several ways. Ways value can be added is cross-hatching, And we're not going to go too much into this because this is more for a drawing class than pottery, but we will go over it anyway. So there's cross-hatching. It's just where you basically make little X's or hashtags all over. Stippling is just a bunch of dots. And then there's like smudging. It's soft shading. You smear it. You add pencil and then you smear it. Color. Color can add interest and reality to an artwork. The use of a 12-step color wheel will help us understand color more effectively. When light is reflected through a prism, colors can be seen. These colors are red, yellow, orange, green, indigo, blue, and violet. Remember we're never going to remember the anagram. The color wheel. A long time ago, artists decided that these colors would be more useful to them if they were placed in a wheel fashion. This became known as the color wheel. Color. There are 3 primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. These colors are primary for 2 reasons. They can't be mixed to be made, and they make all the other colors on the wheel. When you mix 2 primary colors together, you get a secondary color. For example, red and yellow make orange, red and blue make violet, and yellow and blue make green. When you mix a primary color and a secondary color together, you get an intermediate or tertiary color. For example, red and orange is red-orange, yellow and green is yellow-green, blue and green is blue-green, red and violet is red-violet, yellow and orange is yellow-orange, and blue and violet is blue-violet. All right, so we're not going to go too much into these color schemes, but you guys can get the idea here. If you want to just kind of cruise through them, that's fine. I'll make this PowerPoint also available on Canvas with and without the tutorial. So if you guys don't want me to be talking, then you don't have to have me talking. Complementary colors are directly across from each other on the color wheel. You see those a lot in sporting events. Most teams have complementary colors as their colors. Split complementary, triadic color scheme. All right, so monochromatic color scheme is basically all the same. What they call hue is a color. You add a tint, it is a color plus white, and you add shade, which is a color plus black. So it's monochromatic. It's all one color. That's all red. And then you've added white to make lighter pink to white. And then you've added black to make darker reds. Colors have temperatures. Colors can convey emotions and feelings too. Oops. Oh man. So like the saying, have you ever felt blue? Green with envy. Cowardly yellow. So there's warm colors and there's cool colors. The warm colors are red, yellow, and oranges. And the cool colors are green, violets, and blues. Texture. Texture is the way a surface of an object actually feels. In the artist world, we refer to 2 types of texture, tactile and implied. Tactile, or real texture, is the way an object actually feels, like sandpaper, cotton, tree bark, puppy fur. Implied texture is like a faux finish. So it would be like our tabletops usually don't have texture, but they look like they have texture, or wallpaper. It's like a faux finish. Space. Space is basically divided into 3 parts: a foreground, middle ground, and background. Generally, the background of the area is considered to be the upper 1/3 picture of the picture plane. The middle ground is considered to be the middle 1/3 of the picture plane, and the foreground area is considered to be the lower 1/3 of the picture plane. Space. Space can be shallow or deep depending on what the artist wants you to use. So shallow space is used when the artist has objects very close to the viewer. Deep space shows objects that are close, but objects also shown far away. There's positive and negative space. It's a way that the artwork is divided. So when planning a work of art, both areas must be examined so that there can be balance with one another. Drawing items running off the page or zooming in on objects are ways to create visual interest with work. So here's an example of positive and negative space. So positive space is the actual object within the artwork, so the gas pump, and negative space is the area around the object, the background. And then there's perspective, like with buildings or interior drawings. We're not going to go too deep into these. There's overlapping, where you put things behind to where they overlap to show space. And that is the elements of art.